Hi, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. In this video, I'm putting together 3 projects using the Cocoa Daisy Chapters collection from November 2024, and also talking you through how I organize my layouts in my mini albums. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, you guys, so this is just a look at what my table looks like on my computer. And I have one of these sheets for every album, mini-me album. And I started doing these very recently because I was struggling to see like how the different pages fit together in my album. So I was originally doing this in my craft planner, but I realized that I couldn't rearrange pages in my craft planner. I needed it to be digital. So this is in Numbers because I am a Mac person, but this would be really nice in Excel. And basically this is my 2023 Mini-Me Part 2. And I have this table here that shows the first thing is what the story is about. Next is where I can find the plan for that project. And then what the left side page looks like, the right side page looks like. And then I have this column where I put an X in it if there is an insert as part of that planned project. And then here I put an X if I've actually created the project. And then here I'm numbering out the pages. So to start, I have my 2023 cover for this part 2. That was using the Grow scrapbook kit. So that would be project number 9 if I flipped in my planner to where I planned out using the Grow scrapbook kit. There's nothing on the left-hand side because this is the first page, and then it is a 6x8 outside the page protector page. And I've done it, and that puts 1 page in my album. Number 2 here was Hobbies Currently. This was using the Hobby Story Kit, and it was the second project I planned. So if you go look to the Hobby Classroom on Ali Edwards' website and watch my planning video, this would be the second project that I planned. It has a 6x8 outside the page protector on both the left and the right. I've already completed it, and this creates 2 pages in my album because I have the left-hand side is just the back of the first page of this first project. And so this adds a second page. The reason I'm tracking pages right here is because then I will see kind of when this album is full. And I'm not entirely sure how many pages fit inside one of these albums. I'm using 6x8 albums from Ali Edwards, but I think that I could probably fit maybe about 40, but we'll see. Maybe I'm really overestimating how many fit in there, but this way I can kind of keep track and know when I need to kind of cut this album off and go to one of my other albums. So here you can see I have a blank spot after this Zillow Fun spread, which was using the Yes No Story Kit. I had a 6x8 outside the page protector and it was just 1 page. So it didn't add any pages because it's just going on the back of this one here. This next spread I have is my summer 2023 Let Go project using the Let Go Story Kit. And it starts with a 3x8 page on the left-hand side inside the page protector. That's why it says in. I didn't have something that was 3x8 inside the page protector on the other side. So I have this blank spot knowing I need to plan a project to go here that ends with a 3x8 inside the page protector. Now, I already did this right now, but what I did was I pulled this up and I had a few other gaps in here. So one of them was the 4 pockets that ended this project here, which is just a 4-pocket page protector. So I plan to use that using this Cocoa Daisy November kit. I also had here, I had 3 pockets. So I created this 3-pocket page using the Cocoa Daisy kit that is going to be a November 2023 recap. And I wanted to do more than just the 3 pockets, so I also added the 6x8 outside the page protector spread on the other side. Then I needed to back that with something, so I created another page here that I planned out that's called Coffee Love, and that is a 6x8 outside the page protector. So now that I've planned these 3 projects using the Cocoa Daisy November 2024 kit, so I have this one, my Love of Planning, my 2024 planners, my November 2023 recap, and my Coffee Love page. I figured out what page protector configurations I needed, and then I printed out all of those pictures that I needed, and I will meet you guys over at my desk. Okay, so now I'm at my desk, and I just showed you a little bit like what I do on my computer. And what I decided, so I have 3 pages to put together. The first one that I'm going to do has the back of a 3 pocket page protector. So I printed a photo for that. And then the other side is going to be a 6x8 outside of the page and protector. And I'm going to use these small photos on here. And this is just going to be like a recap of November. The next page I'm going to do on the back of that is going to just be this large photo about coffee. And I'm just going to embellish on top of this, and that will be punched and just stuck into the album. And then the final spread I'm going to do is going to go into 4 pocket protector, and it's going to be about planning. So I have 2 photos that I printed for that, and I will put that one together. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one together first using just the scrapbook kit and pocket cards, and then I'm going to use all of my supplies to do the other 2. Okay, so I'm starting with this layout, which is a recap of November 2023. So maybe a couple years ago, I started doing recap posts on Instagram where I share like 10 highlight photos from each month. And I really have enjoyed that process, but I haven't really been documenting them off of Instagram. And I realized that they would be kind of fun inserts in my mini albums. So I decided to start with this November 2023 one. So I printed out my photos that were in that recap post, well, 8 of them, as squares, as 2x2 squares to be on a 6x8 page outside the page protector. And then one of my favorite one of me as a 3x4 to be in that pocket page on the left-hand side. So these could have been in one of those 2x2 page protectors that has all of those 2x2 pockets, but I chose not to because for the back, I wanted a full 6x8. So this worked out well anyways because I was able to use the pattern paper as a background. You'll see soon when I pull one out. I wanted this to be outside the page protector, so I'm using white cardstock from my stash to create the base because an outside the page protector 6x8 page is 7 by 8.25, and the papers from the kit are not 7 across, they are only 6 across. So I needed that extra buffer of the white. So I am just laying everything out, and I rearranged the photos many times. They're trying to get the good balance of them. And I'm trying to decide what I want to include on the rest of this spread. So I'm going through my cards first because on the left-hand side, I do have pockets there that I can fill. I also might want to cut out some cards to include on my 6x8 page. So I'm just looking through everything, looking at the different quotes. This one right here says, I literally love being at home in my own space, comfortable with the things that bring me joy. I thought that was a perfect quote for me and also just for this season because in November, I spent a lot of time at home. It's starting to get cold. It's kind of like turning into the cozy season, which I end up making as my title on this spread, which is also kind of funny because that was the title or the name of the October collection. And this is the November collection, which is called Chapters, but it's because it has all those little like cute books and stuff. But for me, it's still cozy season, right? So then I was trying to decide what to put in this 4x6 pocket. I had pulled a couple of 3x4 cards there to maybe cut them up. And I needed a background that was 4x6, but none of the cards worked. So I'm moving on to the 6x8 papers in the kit. Now, there are 2 of each paper, so I don't have to worry about picking which side I'd prefer to use because I can use both. I'm just going through them and trying to decide which ones I like for this spread. I knew I wanted kind of like a not busy background for that left-hand side, and I ended up using this one here that has a picture on it, but I crop it so that you can't see the picture because I really just liked like the watercolor look of the background. You might not be able to see it on camera, but it has a very light grid on it, and then it has just like a fun watercolor pattern. So I cropped the top half of that picture off, or that paper, so I could use it as a background there, and then I decided I wanted a background on the right-hand side. So like I already talked about, these papers are not the full 7 inches across. So I knew I needed to add something else to cover that edge. So I'm going to use the washi tape. So first I'm going to adhere this green paper. This is like a ledger paper, and I'm really just using it as a fun, colorful background. So I'm going to adhere that down onto my white cardstock. and my rolling adhesive ran out there. So I had to go switch it, but I'm just going to adhere this down and then trim it to fit. And so, the papers in the kit are slightly taller than 7 or the 8.25. I'm not entirely sure why. I think they're like 8.5, but I didn't really care that much because I didn't really care about the ledger paper being a pattern. It was more just to have like a background color. And I liked that it had the ledger pattern on it because it was like simple enough of a pattern that you didn't need to be able to see it in full, if that makes sense, because it's going to be partially covered with the photos. I'm using the washi tape from the kit to create kind of like a border here on this edge where the paper didn't cover, and that will be where I punch my holes. I really love washi tape for this purpose. I do this frequently on a lot of my layouts where I will create an edge using washi tape where I'm going to punch my holes, and that way you kind of remember that part of the spread is going to have holes punched in it, so you don't want there to be any text or photos in that spot. I'm laying out my photos again. Now, I had already decided on my final layout of them prior to prior to putting the background in place, so I didn't have to rearrange them much, but I was just thinking about it a little bit and trying to figure out kind of the exact spacing. So because of human error, because I cut all these out myself and the paper out and everything, it's not like perfect. So I'm just lining them up, and I decided to leave a little bit of a gap between each of the photos so that you have like this little tiny green border where the background paper kind of peeks through. And I thought that helped kind of give the photos their, like, not run together, like give them each their own little frame. So just to while I'm gluing these down, I will kind of talk through the photos because this was November 2023. So I have my top left photo there is my stack of planners for 2024, then pumpkin in a basket. My daughter's advent calendar is the one I'm gluing right now. Me reading a book with my coffee by the fireplace, raking up leaves, our first snow, some Christmas trees that I had brought out, and then the Christmas lights, because I do put up my Christmas supplies or Christmas decor after Thanksgiving, but still in the month of November. So I have that at the bottom there. These weren't necessarily in chronological order during the month, but I just arranged them in a way that made sense and looked good. And I think they kind of ended up in chronological order because the snow and the holiday decor came towards the end. I used the stamp that says November Stories as kind of a title for this page, and I don't think I stamped it straight, which I really need to get better at that. But the stamps from Coco DZ stamp so clear, like they're such crisp images. It's so satisfying. So I also filled this one that says don't take these moments for granted, and I have basically 4 squares of the green background that I need to fill with embellishments. I decided to cut up one of the cards and use that as text inside one of these other squares. So this is kind of like the fun part, right? I already have my structure of my spread here, and I'm just filling in these extra squares that hold embellishments. So this card here says a good book and a warm drink. I thought it was really cute, but it's a horizontal card, which I don't really use. So it was a great one for me to cut up. So I cut each word separate, and I'm just stacking them kind of like word tiles or like word phrase strips or like those word tile magnets, that they make for the fridge. So I have a couple of them are on the same line here. Oh, I didn't do it at first, but I do rearrange it so that and A is on the same line because I realized quickly that these are not going to fit inside that square, but that's okay because I actually love how it comes out where it ends up going off of the square slightly so that the top A is in my cup of coffee in that photo. And I feel like, I don't know, I just love how this part turned out. I really love cutting up my cards and turning them into embellishments. And I had so much fun filling in these little squares, but this one is definitely my favorite. I end up then filling in that top right corner with one of the chipboard pieces. I go through a lot of the different embellishments within the kit. There's the rub-ons, there's the chipboard pieces. There are a lot of options to pull from, especially with cutting up the cards too. And of course, there's the die cut images. But I end up using one of these chipboard phrases that says stay cozy. And I liked it particularly because it had the white background. So it was bringing in more pops of white. Because the background is green, there's not a lot of white on this side of the spread, and I wanted to bring more in. Then I'm adding one of the label stickers that is in the die cut set, and I'm just writing kind of like a recap of, or like a subtitle. I said, a cozy month at home, enjoying the change of the seasons, because I think that these photos really do embody that change in the seasons between fall and like the end of fall and the beginning of winter. I know winter doesn't officially start till in December, but where I live, it definitely starts in November and the holiday season as well. I was just looking through those puffy stickers to see if anything should be added on there, and I decided against it and moved on to the left-hand side of the spread. So I decided to put one of these chipboard pieces, it's the circle that says notes on it, on top of the O in the joy, just to kind of personalize it a little bit and add some color to that card. It was totally fine as is, but I like adding something to most of the cards just to make them my own. I also added this chipboard that says November on the photo of me and Pumpkin, and just slipped that one in the pocket because it's just going to be that simple one. Then I'm moving on to working on this 4x6 card. So I'm adhering a 3x4 card on top of it, slightly off from the side so that it kind of creates a base for my embellishments. And I'm just kind of making like a mini scrapbook page here to hold my title for the spread, which is going to be Cozy Season. I loved this little like clipboard looking thing that was on, it's like a piece of paper on a clip on one of the cards. So I fussy cut it out, and with the magic of fast forward on here, I did that very quickly. And I'm going to adhere that down, but it seemed like it was like floating out there. So I added this watercolor tag from the die cut set beneath it, just to kind of ground it a little bit. And I liked that the tag matched the background, so it made everything kind of coordinate. This kit had a lot of that like watercolor look to it, and it has all of these like stationery and book type sentiments and icons. So it worked really well for me for documenting like the fall, because, well, really anytime, because I'm always loving to stay inside and read and journal. I put this stamp on there that said, "Let's be homebodies," which fit perfectly on that bottom of the tag. And then I'm adhering down this little like clipped paper, which is going to hold my title that says Cozy Season. So I'm going to use these puffy stickers to write out my title. It doesn't fit perfectly on here, and I don't keep with the angle of the paper. Instead, I'm just going to put it straight on here, or as straight as I can, to write Cozy Season. And I just liked the base of the paper just as like a place to kind of ground the title, so it's not floating out there in the middle of nowhere, but it doesn't have to actually stay on that paper. And honestly, it wouldn't fit with these large puffy stickers. But I really love how this turned out. I like that I was able to fit it on here, and as a happy accident, the word season ended right before the end of that background card, so it didn't go on to the watercolor background, which was perfect because the color of the orange wouldn't have popped as much on that lighter background. Then I decided to add a brad from my stash to the top of the tag just to add a little bit of texture. This is like I don't even know what color this brad is. It's like bronze or like brass, not brass, bronze, but it's like, like a weathered looking piece of metal. So I liked adding that in there, and it went really well with the kit. And then I'm just kind of laying everything out and just looking through if I wanted to add anything else, but I decided against it and decided to just slip this in the pocket and call this one done. Next, I'm going to work on the back of this. So I didn't punch my holes yet because I'm going to put together this spread first, and then I will punch my holes. So this is a very simple one that is just documenting my coffee. And I just wanted to put this photo of me holding this new winter coffee mug that I got this year in front of my Christmas tree. And I decided to document, and there wasn't really much story to it except for the fact that I started seasonal mug collecting. So I've been collecting mugs for a couple of years now, since I've been making my lattes at home. But starting in 2023, I started collecting mugs that fit the season so that I could rotate them out throughout the year. So this was one of my first like winter mugs, and I wanted to document that story with this photo. I love using the photo as a base for all of my embellishments and decided to kind of create a vertical line through the spread of stacked embellishments. So you know how my coffee mug is right in the middle there? I'm using that as part of my stack. You'll see as it comes together, and then stacking embellishments up from the bottom to the bottom of the mug, and then from the top of the page down to the mug. And I used that Project Life card or pocket card that says, "I'll take coffee." I just cropped it down as an embellishment. And that was kind of like the first one that kind of sparked this spread idea for me. I used some washi tape to create a base for my stacked embellishments here and adhere down that "I'll take coffee." And I'm just going to kind of layer items on top of here, looking through all of my kits, sometimes even the cousin kit. So this is the classic cousin sticker kit I'm flipping through right now. So these are for the Hobonichi cousin, but a lot of the stickers work really well in scrapbooking as well. So I will definitely pull from that when scrapbooking, and pull from the scrapbooking kits when working in my cousin. So I don't specifically use each kit for their intended purpose. I pulled a piece of washi from the washi strip page and added that on there as well. And just flipping through everything, looking at what I want to include. Those puffy stickers, I absolutely love quite a few of them, so I'm going to find a place for them. I'm determined for that. But first I added on one of the tags that was one of the die cut pieces. And those are adhesive back. So I peeled off the adhesive and adhered it down. And that's where I'm just going to journal about how I'm starting a seasonal mug collection this fall and really obsessed with it because that was just something I was really excited about and bringing me a lot of joy. Something with my scrapbooking is I like to scrapbook these little moments. So I know a lot of people might look at this and say, wait, you scrapbooked an entire page about a mug. But for me, that makes it so much more special because I love the little things in life, and scrapbooking them makes them that much more special and exciting. So I can get excited about a mug, and I don't know, I just love it. So I layered a couple of additional pieces. I added a washi strip and a sticker that says "I need more coffee" from the classic cousin sticker kit. And then I fit one of the puffy coffee cups from the puffy stickers on there. And now I'm going to work on the bottom part. So I used another one of those washi strips. I really love how the classic cousin sticker kit has washi strips on it. So you have like some different pieces of washi where you just have one strip as opposed to an entire roll, because sometimes having a whole roll of something is a bit much. So it's nice to have it where you can use it one or two times with these little strips. And you see there that I'm cutting quite a few of them down so that they will fit my spread. And then I have an additional piece to use elsewhere. I really liked this half circle embellishment that says November Vibes. So I put that at the top of my stack and then felt like my stack kind of needed to be filled in a bunch. So I went back to my stickers and added a few different things, including this little puffy coffee mug, because of course it's a mug, and also the puffy stickers. I know I've talked about this in previous videos. I might have talked about it this month, but anytime that this scrapbook kit from Coco Daisy includes these puffy stickers, I'm so excited because they are probably my favorite embellishment that Coco Daisy makes. I just love the way that they do puffy stickers. I added another little sticker on there that was part of a washi strip that was a fountain pen. And then I'm looking through the other stickers and I end up pulling one that's actually from the days of the week dated ones that says weekend, and putting that on there because I don't even know if this photo was taken on a weekend, but it looks like a weekend because it looks like a relaxing, cozy morning in the winter, which would be a weekend day. I'm trying to decide if there's anything else I want to add, but I end up calling this one good as is. And then so the next thing to do is adhere it to the back of my first spread that I finished earlier in this video, because these two are going to be back to back in my album. And if you remember from the beginning of the video where I showed you my kind of plan for my album, that's how I knew that these two would be back to back and that I could adhere them together, because now they are kind of set in that pattern in my album and I can punch the holes. If instead I was making a page and leaving the back blank because I hadn't yet made the page that was planned for it, or I hadn't yet even planned a page to go on the back of it, that's fine. I would just punch the holes anyway and I would leave it in my album and then adhere the other page to the back when I got around to planning it out and making it. To punch the holes, I use my single hole punch. I do have a 6-hole punch, but it's really finicky and messes up a lot. So I find that the single hole punch works better. What I do is just take an empty page protector and clip it to the front of my page and use that as a guide to punch the holes. So there's a look at those 2 completed pages. Now I'm going to move on to my third and final project that I'm doing on this video, which is just a simple page protector, divided page protector. So this has 4 pockets, and you could see at the beginning of the video where I planned this one out to go on the back of a spread that also has 4 pockets that I haven't yet done. And this one is just going to be a little spread documenting my love of journals and planners and going into 2024, my planner lineup. So I really got into Hobonichi in 2023, but 2024, I expanded my Hobonichi collection and picked up 3 Hobonichis for 2024, which you can see in that picture there. And I wanted to document that here in my album. So in addition to that photo, I also printed out a photo from this time frame where I was journaling in my 2023 Hobonichi cousin. And you could also see my coffee in my seasonal mug and my scone for breakfast, which just gave me kind of like the vibes that I really wanted for this spread. This card says living life one list at a time, which felt really fitting for this theme. And then I'm doing one of the rub-ons that is this little like journal. This little journal icon is just so cute. It looks like a little like, I don't know, like a Hobonichi or bullet journal or something. It's got like very cute like planner journal spreads in it and sticky note, and it's just adorable. And they have it in the spread in this collection in the kits that I got. It shows up a couple of times, and I think I used one of the other ones in my Hobonichi cousin on a page because it's just so cute. I just love it so much. So I knew I wanted to use it on this spread. I added it on there, and now I'm doing my journaling about how I am a planner, a paper planner person, and about like how I picked up my first Hobonichi in 2023, and then for 2024, how I've picked up 3 Hobonichis. And you guys, for 2025, I picked up like 5 Hobonichis. So the collection is growing. So I'm journaling just about this on here. Of course, this is almost a year later, so I'm journaling back in time as if it was still November 2023 and kind of what my feelings were at the time about my Hobonichi. So I know now that one of those ones in that photo I didn't actually end up sticking with, but I don't need to document that here because I didn't know that yet in November of 2023. So this came from one of the 3x4 journal cards. It says, sometimes only paper will listen to you, which I thought was super cute. And I put it on there as an embellishment on that photo of my journal. Next, I'm going to make a filler card. So I picked this like plaid pattern from one of the 3x4 cards as a base, and then I knew I wanted to put some embellishments on it. I wanted to put that stack of journals, that puffy sticker. See, I'm just holding it on there, but just putting it on there looked kind of, I don't know, it looked like it was floating out in the middle of nowhere. So I knew I wanted to do more for it. So I punched out, using a circle punch, that book card, and then also this other pocket thing. So those were in the scrapbook kit, and it's like I don't know what to call it. It's like a little thing that you can fold to make a pocket, and then the card that goes in the pocket. And I just know my scrapbook style, I'm probably not going to use those like that. So I'm making them work for me and punching them out because I love the patterns. They're super, super cute. And that way I can personalize it and make the supplies work for me. So even if there's something in the kit that you think, oh, that's not really for me, well, see if you can make it work for you. And I really love how this turned out. So I'm happy that I did that. I also added some vellum on there because I wanted to kind of tone down that background. I really liked that plaid background, but I didn't want it to be so bold with all of the different colors I was layering. And I added one of the thin brown washi, which is super, super cute and has like cozy reading words and stuff on the edges. And then I adhered all of that down. I was trying to figure out what to do on this photo. I just felt like the photo needed something. So I'm adding some washi This washi has like fountain pens and stuff, and I thought it was just super cute and perfect for the Hobonichi cousins or all the Hobonichis. So I just added a strip of the washi and then pulled one of the word phrase strips from the classic cousin sticker kit that says do not disturb and put on there because that's perfect for like when I'm journaling. Just do not disturb me, let me journal, right? So I'm just slipping it in the pocket, and then I'm going to call this one good. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you want to see full pictures of all of these projects, you can see those on my Instagram, which is linked in the description box below. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye.